Hello and welcome to Transfer Rumours Analysed by Tifo Football. I'm Joe Devine and I'm joined now by JJ Bull. Today we're here to talk about rumours that you've probably read online in the last few days. We're not going to talk about whether or not they will happen, but we're going to talk about whether or not we think they should happen. Isn't that right, JJ?
Yes, whether they make sense tactically and I guess financially for the team that they would maybe go to.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well there we go. And of course we're going to start first with Manchester United. There are two rumours here that we want to discuss. The first of which relates, it's kind of an unusual one, it relates to Real Madrid's Brazil winger, Vinicius Jr., 21 years old, as the Mirror have reported that the Spanish side trying to raise funds before making a move for another player, so they offered Manchester United the opportunity to buy him, which probably doesn't make that much sense based on the squad they already have and their recent business. Yeah,
I think it makes none sense. Although he offered a player like Vinicius, and then you kind of think, if you've got the chance to buy someone like that, you maybe take it, because you might have one of the best young players in the world. But in terms of squad building, I mean, they want to have two players for each position, you'd think. And now with Sancho there, they've got Sancho and Greenwood can play this right side. You've got Rashford and Martial can play the left side. Fernandes is always a 10, Sancho can double up on that. But in terms of where
who's
Vinicius,
the backup for the 9?
The 9, probably Greenwood.
Yeah.
And Sancho can play it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good question though. I like that. Greenwood would be the one. But then you look at what they got in the squad, and everyone has to get game time. So obviously Martial's going to come in for Rashford, but this is exactly where Vinicius Jr. would go. So if he were to play, he'd be here. He was brilliant against Liverpool in the Champions League last season at Real. Just a very good winger.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be more. I don't know if he'd break into the first team straight away. And then like the young players United have, they've got Facundo Pelitri, I say his name, is a Uruguayan wonder kid that they've signed. He looks like he could be a really good player. I don't think he's ready for first team football. I think he's not physically built enough.
How old is he?
Very young. I can't remember how old he is.
I'll have a look.
Tell me how old he is when I'm doing that. Yeah, that'd be useful. But Pelitri is not yet in the first team. He's played in some pre-season friendlies, which is useful.
He's 19 years old.
There you go. Just needs to get into the gym a little bit more, I think, is genuinely what they need to do with him, so he can be physically ready for the Premier League. Amad Diallo has played quite a lot at the end of last season. I thought he did really well. He's left footed, he'll definitely play on the right there.
He's going to head out on loan.
Is he, Amad?
No, Pelistri.
Oh, well that'll be good for his development then. That makes a lot of sense.
There we go.
Jesse Lingard, you've seen this. Solskjaer said that he's going to have Lingard as part of his team. Coming in, he did very well at West Ham. Again, he can play as a 10 to help back up Fernandes. He can also play on the right or the left, more likely the left because he's right-footed. So again, there's not really a need for Vinicius because you probably want a right-footer as a winger here, or a left winger, left-footed as an inside forward. More likely an inside forward, I'd say, because you've got the overlapping fullback. So have I missed anyone out there?
No, I think you're right with Lingard though. I think Lingard is more of a Fernandes backup, isn't he, than a left or right sided player.
Yeah, Fernandes played far too many games last season. He wants to play every week, but I think you'll get a bit more rotation. It might allow them to play more of a pressing game possibly. They might change the way they play, and that's something else Solskjaer said. They want to play more of an attacking kind of set up this season.
So I guess what we're saying then is Vinicius Jr. is the sort of player who, for many clubs, where they'd be offered the opportunity to sign him, they might take it because of his quality, but given that Manchester United already have lots of quality in those positions, he's just not quite good enough for it to be worth the money and the reshuffle? I think so. I don't think Vinicius is like set, not that he should, set La Liga on fire. Sure.
But he's, United definitely don't need him, I wouldn't have thought. But if you'd say he'd be an improvement maybe on like Lingard, or certainly on Amad or Pelitri, probably on Martial. Yeah. That would make sense, but for the amount of money it would cost, probably minimal.
Other priority areas, which we're going to discuss now, because according to various sources, Manchester United are also chasing Rafael Varane of Real Madrid too.
Yes.
This season really is about giving Real Madrid money to spend on Kylian Mbappe, isn't it?
They really want Mbappe a lot, and he's very, very, very expensive, especially considering that his club doesn't, they have all the money on earth, really. Varane would make them instantly so much better. United aren't weak defensively, they've got a very good defensive record. Especially last season, it's built on that. But the weakness that you have with Lindelof, let's put Lindelof in for now. So Lindelof, what he's very good at is making these, I want to make this yellow. It's my favourite for these passes.
Those long balls all the way up the top.
Yeah,
right?
he likes playing these balls over top. This doesn't make sense right now, but when teams push up high, what United are really good at is having pace for counter-attacks, and then you've got Sancho's going to be able to get in behind, you've got Lingard or Rashford, whatever you want, in behind, and then often play will be put out to this right-hand side, Lindelof will get to about here and make that kind of pass, this long early pass. He's really good at that. He's very good at playing short passes into midfield as well, but obviously Varane can play the ball like that. He's a good ball-playing defender. He's also a World Cup winning defender, a Champions League winning defender. He brings like just proper elite centre-back.
Well, also the criticism of Lindelof, whether it's founded or not, I'm unsure, is that he sometimes lacks the physicality of other centre-backs. I mean, you don't worry about that with Varane, do you? No,
specifically it's how he deals with aerial duels or to heading the ball. Lindelof has definitely let the side in a couple of times, not on purpose, but he doesn't read the flight of the high balls very well. I don't know if it's just he's not physical enough, doesn't like the battle, or if he just isn't strong enough. Varane, I think, reads the game a bit better and would complement Maguire moving into midfield quite well, just because he's a safer bet. Lindelof's not a bad player, but Varane's clearly a better one. I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, it's not even that tactically he makes better, it's just he's a better defender. So,
okay, so you like that?
Oh yes, a lot, yeah.
All right, let's do Arsenal now, because two Arsenal-related transfers, both I think in similar positions, JJ. The first one being a player I've never heard of, Albert Sambi Lokonga. He's 21 years old, from Belgium, and well, the other player that Arsenal have been linked to, although we should say this one with a pinch of salt too, because I read something else yesterday about how this particular player was only really interested in one other team other than staying at Sassuolo. Of course, we're talking about Manuel Locatelli, who had a fabulous start to the Euros with Italy and has been linked to Arsenal, again, by various sources. In fact, I think this one was Fabrizio Romano via The Sun.
Lovely. Well, Locatelli had a good Euros. He came in and played, so in Italy's 4-3-3 that they always play, he'd be one of the more advanced creative players that would come in, and he was there when Verratti wasn't starting, because Barella always plays in that Italy side. But
so quite different to Lokonga
then? Yeah, I think so. He can play as a not defensive, but a more holding player. He's a bit more box-to-boxy as well. I think they're a very different player. Lokonga looks like a player who will play longer passes, is quite tall. I don't know if that's relevant to being 6 foot. I don't know if that looks tall, but he looks like a tall player, if that makes sense. Locatelli's less likely to make those kind of long passes, but he'll join in the attack and he'll take shots from range. Like he scored a couple for Italy from around about here. That sort of position there.
Right. So would he come in and replace Xhaka in terms of starting position? Would it just require Partey to play slightly differently?
Well, I mean, they've lost Dani Ceballos. He's back at Real Madrid. I don't think they like El Neni that much. Take Lokonga out. They've got no Xhaka, no Ceballos, and then they were relying on El Neni otherwise. So they need to have another player to play in this position. And Partey is injured so often that they definitely need another one, at least probably two in that position. And Locatelli, high-level player. Just won the Euros, can play Champions League with Sassuolo he's at, so yeah, it would just be a good player, but would definitely play in this bit here and probably join in the attacks, and it'd have to be a bit of a dovetail situation with Partey. Yeah. Or maybe they'll sign Lokonga and Locatelli, who knows?
Well, that would be exciting.
Yeah, they need more midfielders, basically.
It sounds like Locatelli isn't going to happen, but you know, at least on that basis it would be fun if it did.
Yeah.
Okay, according to various sources, JJ Bull, Chelsea want to buy Robert Lewandowski, which is interesting. I think he's 32 years old. He'll be 33 in August, possibly by the time people are watching this video. They, of course, have been linked to two other incredible quality strikers as well this summer in Romelu Lukaku, who may or may not want to return to the Premier League, and also Erling Haaland, who is apparently the best one in the world, isn't he? So I'm not sure what the scouting target is here, other than top tier. But tell me about Lewandowski.
Very different player to Timo Werner, who they've had. So Chelsea have got Tammy Abraham, Timo Werner. I think that's pretty much it, because Olivier Giroud's off to AC Milan.
Yes, that's true. Well, they have Oh, you mentioned Tammy Abraham, and I guess Havertz, who's been playing in that position a fair amount for. Well,
they've got a few different ways they've played. So look at what they've got just now. Is Werner tends to play through the middle, but he's also played on the left-hand side with Havertz playing like a kind of false 9. I don't think he is a false 9. I think he's just a 9.
But that was what was happening towards the end of the season, wasn't it? That's the most recent Chelsea formation I remember.
Yeah, and the reason for that is that Werner can basically play an inside forward and he can attack these sorts of areas here rather than just being through the middle. And often when you're playing through the middle, you need to be able to hold the ball up and link play, and that's not what Werner's strong parts are. His strong points are getting in behind defenders. Kai Havertz is left-footed and he tends to play on the right-hand side here, like an inside forward, doing the same sort of thing. But he can't play as at 9, and Mount will always play. He plays on the right or left, and often just floats into these kind of 10 positions. So if you took, let's say we take Werner out, is most likely because he keeps missing all of his shots, and put Mount left, which is good for him there, and Havertz there. 2 players you want to play in the half spaces, and in the 10 position. And you've got Lewandowski, who is just one of the best centre forwards ever. That's too much, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
He's great.
He's amazing.
All-round forward. He's a complete forward. Some strikers are good at specific things. Werner is an advanced ruddy boy who can run really quick in behind the defence. That's useful. Lewandowski can hold the ball up. He can win headers. He can poach and get into the 6-yard box when he needs to. It wouldn't change an awful lot of how they play. It would make wide crosses a lot more dangerous. So certainly James's delivery from wide, playing these sorts of early balls in for Lewandowski is going to be, I mean, this is what Tammy Abraham's meant to be good at as a poacher, but he misses too many of these sort of chances. Lewandowski would feed off these, I don't know, like an animal eating food. What?
An animal eating another animal.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Lewandowski will make them just better. I mean, tactical analysis in this is that Lewandowski is better than what they've got. But he's a different kind of player, and something he can, Mount can play wall passes off of him. Whereas Werner would always look to get in behind this and play off the shoulder of the last man and be offside. Lewandowski gives him the chance to kind of ping wall passes and little 1-2s.
Can I say?
Yeah.
I was a little bit sneering before when I made the comment about how Chelsea are just going for big players. Something in me sort of respects it as well. I mean, they've just won the Champions League.
Yeah.
They want to win the Premier League, which is one of the hardest domestic leagues in the world to win, I think. What? And they've got lots of money. If their approach really is like, who's the best in the world in that position? Let's try and get them, or let's have a shortlist made up of those players. That's pretty cool, actually, come to think of it. I wouldn't mind it,
Well, they'll be looking at their transfer targets and see, like, what kind of forward do we want? Let's just get the very best one, because I don't think you even need a specific type. Like, they've got a Werner already, they've got a Havertz. What else have they got? Just all the different players they've got already. Abraham is the other one, so they know the kind of players they've got already. Just get a better one in, and then you just go to like FIFA or Football Manager and see who the best rated players are and work out who's feasibly available.
I think I'm so used to seeing clubs try to find value in the market that this sort of thing, it feels decadent, doesn't it?
But actually, crazy. But then think when maybe it's similar to when United signed Van Persie, maybe.
Yeah,
I think Lewandowski's of a higher level.
Sure.
But the best strikers in the world, I mean, Mbappe you put up there, but he's going to cost 150, 200 million. PSG won't sell him.
Yeah.
And he wants, all the things you hear about him is maybe Real Madrid would be the step up from PSG. Chelsea don't quite seem to have that same illustrious, attraction to certain players.
Sure.
Even though they compete at the highest level.
Yeah.
But Lewandowski's 32, you might think he'd be at the end of his career at Bayern Munich and want to change. Some players want to do that and try themselves in a different league.
Move to London.
Move to London might be something he'd like to do.
Yeah. A
good age to enjoy all the trappings of London.
Yeah.
Probably
economically the right age, I think, to enjoy London.
I think so, yeah. He'd live anywhere he wants.
Sure.
Not even in a horrible flat, a nice one.
Yeah.
Haaland's another one they could buy. But Haaland's linked with other sorts of players.
Also, I think Dortmund have said they're not going to sell him this summer now.
They sold Sancho already, so probably next summer they could sell him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, Chelsea will be one to watch next season then, I suppose.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, they won the Champions League, so they're quite good, and Thomas Tuchel seems to know what he's doing. But I think they'll still play that 3-4-3 system. They'll stick with that and have a central striker who can do all the things. And that's why they sign Lewandowski, I suppose. Will they sign him?
Yes!
That's Chelsea.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel.
And if you do enjoy Tifo, then you'll probably also like The Athletic. If you watch our tactics videos, you should go and read Michael Cox. If you're into data, read Tom Warville. And if you're into transfers, it's David Ornstein. Plus, if you're a fan of any Premier League team, then there's a journalist dedicated to you, and you can try it for free for 30 days now by clicking the link in the description.